I got married in July last year to a nice American girl. I did it. Thank you. Thank you. I got a green card. I did it, yes. And legal. We were engaged for like 2.5 years because of the pandemic. And when we first got engaged, this is the first thing that we had to do was get engagement photos. Okay, this is an American tradition. We don't do this in Australia. And it's fucking weird. We were down the beach with a professional photographer doing shit we've never done before and will never do again. I was told to stand there and look out over the ocean, so I'm standing there like this. And my fiancée was told to stand right behind me and put her arms around me like that, right? And I, in turn, was to hold her back like this. So we're both standing there, staring out over the Pacific. She can't see shit because her face is just in my back. We're trying to make that look cute, like, ah! So we're standing there in some kind of reverse prom backpack scenario. And I thought, this isn't right, this doesn't feel right. And I went to the photographer, I don't think we should... And she took that photo. And then we sent that to all of our family and friends. And said, this is how we stand at the beach. We're idiots. We're thinking of starting a family. This isn't a good start. I do most of the cooking in the house. It's just that she burns 90% of shit that she touches in the kitchen, and I'm not allowed to say anything about it. You're not allowed to. It's very sexist and misogynistic to point out a woman burning something in the kitchen. You're better off just letting them burn shit and just saying nothing. But this is what she does. She put a pot on the stove, turn the stove on, and then she just fucks off for an hour and a half. And does something else. And then she comes running back in and goes, oh shit, how did that happen? Oh. And I'm sitting there going, I fucking know how it happened, but I'm not allowed to say anything because of the rules of society, and I'll get cancelled if... It's hard being in the car with her when she's trying to do a U-turn. It's really hard. It's very hard. I don't think she knows what the letter U is. I don't think she knows. See, this is what a U-turn is, right? You're coming down the street and you need to be back over this side of the street. So you just do a U shape. It's in the title. It's in the title. Just do a U shape. Get back to where you needed to get to. But what my wife likes to do is she's driving along about here, she shits herself. And she goes, I don't want to do a U-turn. There's too many cars. I'm scared. So she turns right down this street. And she doesn't want to do a U-turn on that street either, so she turns right up the next street. And then she does a painfully slow 3-point turn in a driveway. And then comes back down to this street, back down along here, and then back up to where we needed to get to. And that takes 45 minutes. And I just have to sit there in silence. Look, she's a better person than I am, okay? She does leave dishes around a lot, just half-drunk glasses of water everywhere. And it shits me, but we never fight. What we do is we passively aggressively get shit off our chests via one of the cats. So I'll pick up a cat and I say something like, oh, Mum leaves a lot of dirty dishes around, doesn't she? And then later on she'll pick up a cat and go, oh, Dad can't show his emotions because his father left him when he was a child. Ooh. Yeah, she's a lot better at it than I am. terrible morning person. She's horrific from the hours of like 6 until about 9:30. She looks different. She sounds different. I think she's a different person. She scares me. If I get up before her, it's safer for me to grab some clothes together and go into the kitchen and change in the kitchen. Go, don't make too much noise. If you wake her up, she'll stab you in the face. She's terrifying. I was getting up early for work, this was a while ago, and I was getting up at 6:30. And on the Monday, got up at 6:30 and she was asleep. And I leant over and went, oh, bye, and kissed her on the shoulder, and she went, oh, what are you doing? And I said, oh, I was just saying goodbye, and she went, oh, just fucking go. And I went, oh, sorry, go back to sleep, sorry. And I left. Then on the Tuesday, 6:30 in the morning, she was asleep, and I thought, I won't disturb her, I'll let her sleep, that's what she wants. And I went off to work. Yeah, you all know. I got a text message from her at 9:30 that said, how come you left without saying goodbye? What the fuck am I meant to do with this situation? So Wednesday, 6:30, I'm just standing at the end of the bed just staring at her. I didn't know what to do. I'm looking around for help. There's no support. And I'm thinking, do I go or do I say goodbye? What do I do? And I was kind of hovering above her like that. And she woke up and saw me above her like this. And just went, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I went, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm scared. Help me. About 4 years ago, I was in Chicago in December, okay? I was in a place called Schaumburg, and that is the coldest I've ever been in my entire life. I wasn't prepared for that at all. And I was doing some shows there in Schaumburg, and I was in the hotel looking out the window. There was a Whole Foods about a mile away. And like everything was frozen over. There was no people walking around and all the cars were covered in snow. And look, I don't know the cold. I didn't know if I could walk that mile without dying. I didn't know. I didn't want to be a statistic on their news. Idiot Australian thinks he can walk a mile in December. He has perished outside the Whole Foods in Schaumburg. I didn't want that to happen. So I put my beanie on and my scarf on and my jacket on, and I put sweatpants on and then jeans over them and like another jacket, and I had all my clothing. I looked like an idiot. I was all puffed out like Kevin from Home Alone. And I walked out of the hotel room and the door shut behind me, and I went, oh shit, I forgot my room key. But I thought, don't worry about it. You can worry about that when you get back. So I started walking over to the Whole Foods. About a mile, or about half a mile, this young girl walked past me just in a t-shirt and looked up at me like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? And I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm a foreigner. I'm not from around here. Hello. So I knew I had too much clothing on, but I got to the Whole Foods and I took the jacket off and I took the scarf off and I took the beanie off. And then I wanted to get this green juice. And I found out the green juice was $17. And I was like, oh, come on, $17? And then I looked across and there was a lady giving out free samples of the very juice that I wanted. And pretty generous sized samples. So I went up to her and I said, oh, hi, may I try one of your juices? So I had one. And then I said, that's really good. May I have another? You're allowed to ask for two. We've all decided in society that when sampling, you're allowed to have two. So I had the second one. You can't ask for three. That's too much, okay? That's cheeky. So I had to think of tactics to get the third, fourth and fifth one. So this is what I did. I don't know why I thought this was a good idea. I went into the other aisle and I put my jacket back on and my scarf back on and I put my beanie back on. And then I walked back up to the lady and I went, hello, I'd like to try some green juice. And she just stared at me and I panicked. I don't know why I said this. I went, my twin brother was just here. And he said, I simply must try your green juice. So I'm just deep in a sea of juice lies at this point. And she burst out laughing and then leaned in and said, have as much juice as you want. As soon as all this juice is gone, I get to go on break. So I'm her new best friend. I'm like, well, let's have a juice. Come on. I'm getting other people involved. Come on, we're getting Mary on break. Have a juice. We finished all the juice. Mary went on break. I had way too many juices. I had like 17 juices. I put my beanie back on and the scarf back on and the jacket back on, ready for my mile walk back to the hotel. And about quarter mile out, I realised that's too much juice. That's too much. We're about to have a problem here. This is a problem. Look, it's one thing if you need to pee really badly, but if you need to... That is an emergency situation. I don't want to be a statistic on the Chicago News. Australian shits his pants outside the Whole Foods in Schaumburg. He has perished outside. I don't need that on my adult life resume, so... And the shit that was going through my head, like, I was walking along going, you could jump between these two cars right now and this would all be over. And I'm like, you're not doing that, you're an adult. You're not shitting between cars. What are you, insane? So this is all I could do, all right? Now, you've all done this before. Don't act like you haven't. What it is, it's the fast-paced walk, and then you have to gather yourself, and that's the only way you can get from A to B, all right? You go, 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 go. Oh, shit, 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 shit. You've all done it before. You know damn well you have. Don't act like you haven't. It's all you can do. You go, 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 shit, 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 shit. Oh, God. So I did that the whole mile walk back to the hotel. I stopped like 50 times. It took me so long to get there, but I struggled and I got there and I made it and I was sweating. I was sweating by the time I got to the hotel. And I went to the elevators and I remembered, shit, I forgot my room key. And I went up to the guy at the counter, and it's like he knew exactly what was going on. Because all I did was go up to him and just go, "Dah!" And he went, right, this guy's about to shit his pants and doesn't have a room key. Because he just went, yeah, and handed me the key, and I went, "Ah!" I went to the elevators, I went up to my floor and I got there and I got to my room, I opened the door, I opened the bathroom door. Now, why is it that your brain thinks it's made it to the toilet when it sees the toilet? I was like, no, we're not there yet, what are you doing, for God's sakes? And I jumped in the air and I got my jeans off and I dove and I went, and I made it, every little step, that whole mile back, everything. The relief when I made it to the toilet. And then I remembered I was wearing 2 pairs of pants.
I quickly want to tell you a side story because we don't have time for it. So my wife's grandmother, Phyllis, she's 96 years old, when she died in December, I know. 96 is a good age to get to, right? Yeah, as a cricket fan, I would have loved to have seen her get to 100. She played off the front foot all the time. Avoided a few LBWs, if you know what I mean. But 96 is a good age. She was born on the family farm. She was raised on the family farm. She had all her kids on the family farm. And then she died on the family farm at 96. But the minute she died, everyone was like, she's gone to be with Stanley, her late husband. Let me tell you about Stanley. I've never met Stanley. Because Stanley died suddenly from a massive heart attack at the age of 42 on the back paddock. They said he was dead before he hit the ground, right? Now, Stanley was a wildly attractive man. You know those people, when you see their photos, you're like... Like it's just on the farm, like the wedding photo. You know the normal old people photos, there's three. There's him with a young guy, a young man, in a button-down shirt, and then the wedding photo, and that was that. But I look at those photos and I'm like, whew. You know when someone's so hot, you start questioning your choices? And then you remember being gay is not a choice. Here's a wildly attractive man, prime of his life, then he dies, now he's in the prime of his death. So how it works when you die is you still look exactly the way you look now, you're just see-through. So it's fact, like I'm not making this shit up. There's a documentary on Netflix, you can go watch it. It's called Casper. Some of you have seen it. No, so you still look exactly like you do now, you just see through. Some of you are sitting in here tonight and you go, I'm fat and ugly, I'm going to kill myself. Don't. Don't. Stay here, you're just going to be fat, ugly and see through on the other side. And they don't have biscuits for us there. Stay here, let's make skinny people uncomfortable. I have a little thing to entertain myself before I get on a long haul flight. When I walk into the plane and you see people, those skinny people watching, no. I just go in there, I'm just in the middle there. They go, I'm fucking with you, I'm up in business. But anyway, so Stanley's dead. Now, he goes to heaven. And when you get to heaven, this is how it works. You get to heaven, and in heaven they have all these pods, right? Like party pods. Like they've got the party pod. What? Everyone's making shit up about the place. Give me a go, all right? So you have the party pod where all the hot people go to party, right? Then next to it, you've got like the knitting pod, you've got the finger painting pod. Whatever you're into, there's a pod for you, okay? So Stanley gets to heaven and God says to him, Stanley, you're a wildly attractive man. You get to go in the party pod. And he goes, no thanks. Because he's read the articles. He's seen the things on telly. He knows. He loved Phyllis so and she loved him so that she's going to be there any minute. And he says, nah, I'm going to wait for Phyllis. And God says, are you sure about that, Stanley? Because I've got a book in the back. I'm kind of running this joint. And Stanley goes, nah, I'm going to go ahead and wait. And God says to him, you do you, boo. As it says in Leviticus. And I haven't read the whole book. I'm sort of just loosely quoting here. So Stanley starts waiting. Yeah, I'm new. It's weird, I'm see-through here. He had a pie before. After a few years, he realises Phyllis isn't coming. And he can hear the party pod is going off. Then he thinks, you know, Phyllis is a wildly attractive woman herself. She's probably remarried to get someone to help her with the kids. He then joins the party pod. And at this point, Stanley starts hammering ghost pussy. Like, no one has hammered ghost pussy in the history of ghost pussy. Right, he is going hammer and tongs, as they say. So one day there's an announcement. Stanley, can you come to the gate, please? That's Stanley to the pearly gates, thank you. So Stanley leaves the pod and he goes, hey! You keep that ghost pussy on ice for me, I'll be right back, all right? He gets to the pearly gates and who's there but Phyllis? He gets a fright naturally. She has shrunk 3 foot. Yeah. I was like, holy shit, global warming is real. So Phyllis, who never remarried, never even removed her wedding bands, has waited for Stanley all these years. And she's ready to reconnect. She's frothing to reconnect. Stanley says to her, at ease, Phyllis. I've been hammering ghost pussy for decades. I'm not ready for fossil pussy just yet. So I guess all I'm saying is you can work at your relationship as much as you like, but as soon as your partner drops dead, he's going to be hammering ghost pussy in heaven. Or ghost dick. There's ghost dick too. And that looks bigger because it's see-through. And it's better when it's see-through because you can see it coming. Not going to surprise you in the eye with that one. I'm just saying relationships are hard. That's all I'm saying. I want you to answer this for yourself internally. Take this home. Would you, knowing what you know today, and with the path that you have walked in your marriage, would you get married again if you knew how often you'd be fighting about towels? I think every major argument in a marriage can be tracked back to towels. You think she's fighting about, your spending or your... It's not that. It's because you left a towel on the floor. The amount of times it's yelled in a marriage, who used the good towels? Why are you using that towel? Don't use that, that's the dog's towel. Stop touching that towel. Pick up that towel. Why is this towel wet? Why is that towel too dry? Why does this towel smell like that? Why can I break this towel in half? There's so much. I am so triggered by towels, I'm not even lying. I have once seen a whole load of towels in the dryer and I told my wife that I had a gig out of town and I left for the weekend in the hopes that she would sort it out before I got back. Because I can't handle the stress. You're like, you're so tense. I start folding the towels and she just walks past. That's not how we fold towels in this house. Like, my relationship's not perfect, because I'm a touring comic, so I'm on the road about 300 days of the year, and we travel as a pack. So right in the beginning, my wife said to me she's scared of flying, which is a huge problem because that's how we do it. Because it's not 1912. But, I'm nothing if not supported. So... what I would do, if I know we have a flight in the morning, I would go look up the safety specs of that plane. I would look up all of the details. I go, it's an ATR-72, it's the safest plane in their fleet. This is how many seats, this is the quietest seat, this is the one with the most recline, that's where the toilet's located. I even make shit up about the pilot. Because I don't know why they keep introducing themselves. They're not famous. No one gives a shit. No other job on the planet. You don't get to the supermarket and they go, welcome to checkout number 3. We've got Stacey here checking out today on the Olympus 3000. Now, the conveyor's running at roughly 0.0029 kilometres an hour. Yeah, your loyalty card don't mean shit. You want to sign up? Well... recently I flew to Dublin and they were real casual with the introduction of the pilots. They just came on and go, g'day, today, well not with that accent, today we've got Alana and Matthew flying you into Dublin. And I looked around and not one person even lifted their heads off their phones that were supposed to be in flight mode at that time. Anyway, I do all of that shit for her. I mean, not anymore. I've now recorded all of the audio notes. So before we get on a flight, I just airdrop her that shit. If you've got an Android phone, you're going to have to Google what that is. What she said to me, she goes, you know what, I'm not scared of flying. I'm scared of crashing. Yes. We all are. Nosedive into the fucking Pacific, no one's going, fuck yeah! We're going directly into a mountain, fuck yeah! Matthew and Alana are getting it done today, no! We're all scared, that's why the brace position is this. So you can shit up your own back. That brace position is not a life-saving measure. You see people look at the cards and go, that's not going to help. the plane has crashed, there are people who have to go around after they've put out the fire to pick up body parts, right? And it's usually your teeth that's left. And they have to put that in a little baggage for testing. That's why you're doing it in the front, so they don't have to go sift through piles of shit for the teeth. The whole Boeing is not designed very well for a crash. Like, you know you're not going to survive. Like, quickly make some noise if you've survived a plane crash. Do you see what I'm saying? Why even bother with the safety features? We're going to fucking die. Let's make this shit fun. The first thing they say, like, you know, we're about to crash. What do they give? What drops down from above your head? Oxygen. You know what oxygen does for your brain? Wakes you the fuck up. It wakes you up. You have crystal clear thoughts. You can remember stuff. You can remember your own birth. You are so wide awake and so alert. My mum was right all these years. You're going to be wide awake when your anus slowly curls over your brainstem. I've applied for a job at Boeing because I reckon the first thing, if they know we're going to crash, there should be a button that pops out in the headdress in front of you. A little mouthpiece with, you know, that clay from the dentist that you have to bite into. So that when they retrieve that, they can just do it with those tongs that you see people... 27, I ain't never flossed a day in her life. Once that thing sets, then automatically from above you where the oxygen used to live, a bag of cocaine drops down. Yeah. Even if you've never tried cocaine in your life, shove your whole head in that bag and inhale. You're still gonna die, but fuck, you're gonna believe in yourself. Guys, we've got this. Head of the line on Matthew. Let's go. But then she said to me, she goes, look, it's not the crashing even that frightens me. I'm like, fuck, all right, what's left? It's not the cuisine. She goes, it's that bit when you're flying and you must realise this plane is going to crash till when it actually impacts. She goes, that can be seconds, it can be minutes, we don't know because no one's alive to talk about it. But she goes, that's the thing that scares me. That is my darkest moment. That's the thing that gives me anxiety, that gives me panic attacks. And then she asked me to do something, and I'm going to share it with you now, and it's going to sound weird when it hits your ear holes. But just push through and sit with it, okay? She made me promise. She said, if we're ever on a plane together and we realise this plane is about to crash, she goes, I want you to kill me. I told you it's going to hit weird. But hear it. When I heard that, I thought, wow. She trusts me, the person that she loves most in the world. This is before we had children. Now she'll use me as a human shield at a Costco sale. But she trusts me enough that when she's in her darkest moment that I will remove her from that. And I thought that was really romantic. Initially. But then it hit me. I'm on that plane too. But I don't get to experience any terror because I've got one more fucking chore to do. It got to a point we can fly domestic, like we'll fly Sydney to Melbourne. As soon as I get on the plane, I start making a shiv. We hit a bit of turbulence. I've already stabbed her twice. She's like, I'm not even scared, it's just turbulence. I'm like, die, bitch, die! So we got a divorce.
We are. I know I shouldn't read my messages. I know I shouldn't, but I'm a comedian and I have a lot of time on my hands. Like, if you want to contact a comedian, you can. I read all my messages. I get so sucked in by it. I always think that. I think to myself, as I'm reading them, I've got way too much time on my hands. And then sometimes I feel like, I don't know if you feel the same way, if you ever feel like, oh, I've got too much time on my hands, maybe I should be doing something productive. And then you see someone and you're like, oh, they've definitely got too much time on their hands. I'm fine. I realised this when I was buying eggs online. Yeah, I like to party. And I was buying eggs online. I was buying it on online grocery shopping on the Woolworths website. And I saw that the eggs that I was buying had a rating of 4.2 stars. There's people out there spending their time reviewing eggs. Like, it wasn't the health star rating, it had that as well. This was user reviews. I was like, I'm fine. Why do you need to review an egg? It's an egg. Who's having an egg, a food that's been around unchanged for thousands of years, and gone, I've got some notes. If you could pass this on to the chicken passes that on to the egg. And so on and so forth. I'll tell you who's reviewing these eggs. 500 people. 500 reviews, 46 pages. I read them all. I've got a lot of time on my hands. I got obsessed with them. I got obsessed. There's also people out there that review cat food. Here's the kicker. In character as their cat. Like, if you look it up, you can look it up when you get home, like Fancy Feast website. There's like reviews and they're like, every morning I go over to my bowl and I'm so excited to eat my Fancy Feast. It's fucked. And I assume they're writing it in character as their cat. Otherwise, Fluffy is a weird woman. Back to the eggs, because, I loved reading them. Because the reviews for the eggs are what you'd expect a review for an egg to be. One of them just said, tasted the same as any other egg. 3 stars. I was like, how much better than tasting like other eggs can you get for it? That's a good egg in my books. The 5-star reviews are even more illuminating. Because these people had an egg and had an amazing experience. My favourite 5-star review was from this guy called Nigel. Page 36. Check it out. Check this when you go home, it's fun. I just have nothing else to do. This guy from Nigel, it's 5 stars. It said, incredible, colour and taste, life-changing egg. And I was like, oh no, Nigel, how bad is your life going? That an egg is really turning things around. I was very, very worried for him, you know. The weird thing about it as well is, you know, the eggs, they're 4.2 stars. My show that I did in the Comedy Festival before this show, the Age rated it 4 stars. I got beaten by a fucking egg. Do you know how humbling that is? Now every time I have an egg, I've got tall poppy syndrome. Like, you think you're better than me? Look who's beating who now.
look, I don't want to be too negative about Australia. I think, like, there's a lot of good things about Australia, but, like, we're weird. We're a weird country in the sense that we like that it's hard to come here. We enjoy that about Australia. Like, look at the national pride we took in bouncing Novak Djokovic. We fucking love that. He turns up and he's like, I'm the #1 tennis player in the world. And we're like, fuck off, cunt. Yeah, it turns out we've got a court you can't win in. Off you go. I hope you're better on clay than the Court of Appeal. Fuck off. And he was white, which was a nice change. Yeah. The old victimless crime. No, like, it's a weird part. Like, it's a weird part of Australian culture. Like, we like that it's hard to come here. Like, we enjoy that about ourselves. Like, is anyone here from overseas? Yeah. Where you from, brother? England. Wow, let's get a real one. Where are you from, brother? Syria. Fuck. There you go. Syria. What's your name, brother? Sam. Nice to meet you, Sam. I'm Daniel. I'm the guy. Sam, was it easy for you to come to Australia?
Not really.
That's fantastic. Look at everyone in the back being like, great. Everything's going great. No, it's a real part of our culture. Like, it's a real thing. We like that it's hard to come here. We love it when people choose to come here from overseas. Like, Sam said he's from Syria, and everyone's like, fuck yeah, dude, doing all right. But we want you to want it somehow. Like, you meet someone from overseas, like, holy shit, you're from Brazil, that's fantastic. Was it difficult for you to immigrate to Australia? And they're like, yeah, a lot of paperwork, a lot of interviews, I'm very lucky to be here. And as Australians, secretly, in our heads, we're like, good. You better fucking want it, mate. Oh, you want to stay? Then pick some strawberries, get it done. I hope they're the strawberries with the needles in them. You better want it, right? You better want to be here. We're oddly proud of our racism in this country. Other countries are embarrassed. We're like, nah, cunt, we're good at it. When we do it, it's entertaining. That's why we put it on TV. That's all Border Patrol is. That's just Australian racism filmed and shown to other countries as a warning. That's why every episode starts with some guy trying to bring fruit through customs, and the officer's like, nah, mate, you can't bring it now. You got to pick it later if you want to stay. To bring it now would be cheating, which is un-Australian. It was funny, man, because, like, I lived in the UK for a couple of years, and you guys were always asking me, they were like, was it easy for you to come to the UK? And I was like, yeah. Like, super easy, you know, like, so easy. Like, all you need as an Australian to immigrate to the UK is a photo. Like, not even of you, they don't mind, you know, they don't check, you're just through the gate. And they're like, well, how is that fair? Like, why is it easy for you guys to come to the UK, but it's hard for us to go to Australia? And I'm like, well, if you think about it, my white skin is kind of a receipt. This is clearly the original store I was purchased from. So if I want a refund, that's my right, Your Majesty. That was the thing. I lived there for 2 years, never had asthma or any of the allergies I have in Australia. And it was only when I left, I was like, oh, that's because I was supposed to live here. Hay fever isn't an allergy to pollen, it's karma for white people being where they shouldn't. That's what that is. And it might sound silly, but you never had an Aboriginal mate ask you for a Zyrtec, have you? It's never happened. No, look, I had to go at us for being a racist country, and we definitely are. But, like, I think we're trying to improve. I really do think Australia's trying to improve. Look at Australia Day, great example, right? That's changed a lot in my lifetime. It used to be, hey, day off work, 100 songs to count down, nice. Whereas now it's that day that we're like, oh, were we not always here? You know, I still have very fond memories of Australia Day. Like, I actually met my wife at an Australia Day party. And before you guys think I'm a piece of shit, relax. It was in 2011, before we'd done anything wrong. And it was overseas. You know, you can still celebrate Australia Day overseas. It's fine. That's a loophole. Think about it. There's a country where you don't belong, you turn up, ruin their day. Is that not the spirit of Australia Day? No. And that's the thing. Like, I'll be honest, I like the change. Like, I prefer the new Australia Day because I used to have to feel weird about being a white Australian all year. Now I can get that done in one day. So much more efficient. I wake up January 26th, I'm like, I'm so sorry, here's a black tile. Go to bed knowing I'm part of the solution. Wake up January 27th, I'm like, wait, you're from Syria? Fuck off home. You know, I've done everything I can. I've done everything I can. There's only one group who still celebrates Australia Day on Australia Day, and it's not racists, it's not bogans, it's recent immigrants. Yeah, turns out you don't get to call it Invasion Day on a bridging visa. Doesn't work like that. Might want to learn Don Bradman's average before you complain, mate. Otherwise, I can think of 99.94 reasons it's not getting renewed. No, obviously, I agree with change the date. Like, I think Indigenous people are a huge part of our country and they should be able to celebrate a national holiday. I just don't know how it's going to work because they don't want to celebrate on January 26th because we were cunts to them on that day, and I just don't know if there's a day that we weren't. Like, maybe February 29th at a push? You know, like, maybe. That's the best solution I can come up with so far. It would mean one Australia Day every 4 years, but fuck, it'd go off. You know, think about it. 400 songs to count down. 4 years worth of tins. We get so lit, we'd invade New Zealand. We'd do what needs to be done. Take the South Island 2024, North Island 2028. On the day they surrender, that's when we celebrate Australia Day, going forward. Look, I'll be honest with you, the whole we can't just create a new public holiday lost a lot of momentum when the Queen died. They're like, we can't just create a new public... Wait, she's dead? Thursday. You guys like Thursday? You like Thursday? Thursday week, seems respectful.
You know the game Celebrity Hall Pass? Are you guys across? Give me a woo if you don't know. Woo? Okay, cool. I'll explain it to you. Basically, it's kind of a lame game. Like, couples play it. It's fun, though. Couples play this game where you pick a celebrity, and if you are ever around that celebrity, you can have sex with them and they can't get mad. Can I talk to some couples? Are you guys a couple? Yeah. Who's your Celebrity Hall Pass? You don't even know? Really? Jennifer Lawrence. Okay, but I didn't actually ask you. But we'll come back to you for sure. Leonardo DiCaprio. Interesting. Okay, I get that. Yeah, he's made some fantastic choices with film, and that's hard to deny. What about you? Who's yours? He's furious. Margot Robbie. Okay, I mean, it's a bit obvious, but Neighbours Margot Robbie. Wasn't she 16? Get this guy out of here! What about you guys? You guys a couple? Yeah, who's yours? You should you should have sex with his brother for that. Oh, okay. You're polyamorous? You're just open to the possibility of that. Okay, cool. That's cute. It's a lot of work being poly. I imagine a lot of text messages being sent. I can barely keep up with the one. Okay, cool. Get back to the normies. What about you, sir? Is it? Give me a fucking phone. Oh, yeah, nice. Kate Beckinsale. Classic beautiful celebrity. All right, well, thanks for playing, guys. I think that was nice. There was a bit of tension at times, but you know, that's part of the fun of stand-up. You know, we're all strangers, but we're connecting in a way. You know? No.
Anyway, let's talk about something a bit more uplifting. The other day I saw my ex's new husband wearing a V-neck. Yeah. It's good to have a win, isn't it? Such a dickhead, didn't even see me there behind the bins. My ex left me for a dude with a Porsche in a pizza restaurant. Yeah. And I went and tried his pizza. Do you know how fucking humiliating that is? To go over it? Because I want us to get along. It's best for my son. So I went over there. He's a pizza chef. We're bonding. He makes me a pizza, gives me a slice. He's like, what do you think? I was like, it's fine. You know what I mean? Because I didn't want to give him anything. But on the inside, I was like, I would suck this dude's dick for another slice. It all makes sense now. It all makes sense. Do you know how awkward it is? We live in the same suburb, so I run into them. Do you know how fucking awkward it is to run into your ex and the new guy around? The other day I'm walking with my mate Dan, and over the road is my ex, the new guy, and my son all having dinner. And my son sees me and goes, Daddy, come over. Get into this. Get into this fucking social nightmare. Get in here. I mean, it's sweet, right? But he's not a diplomat, is he? Get into this fucked situation. And I'm with my mate Dan. Now, Dan, he's not autistic. He's something. You know what I mean? I'm like, you stay here. We don't want you in the fucking mix. So I go over and he's in the bus stop reading the timetable or whatever, and whatever it is he's busying himself with. And I go over and, I've got to be happy to see everybody. I'm a parent. I can't be like, hey, buddy, good to see you, and you two fuckheads, what's up? You know what I mean? I'm a parent. I've got to be like, wow, look at it. This is so great. We're all together. Wow. And the new guy's sitting there. He's wearing a suit and he's talking about how he's opened his third restaurant and his Porsche's parked right there. And I've been writing with Dan. My notebook was just open on the table. And he's like, what have you been working on? And it just says, suck his dick for another slice. That's just circled. You don't want to miss that bit. It's a good line. So it's just like, suck his dick. Yes, you must. That bit. And he does that thing where he pretends he didn't read it. You know how people do that? He goes, suck his dick. Oh, I can't even take it in. It's too much. And then my son sees Dan, who he knows, over the road. Dan's here. Come over. I'm like, great, let's bring Dan over. Dan's over the road eating a tub of jelly beans that he bought from home. That's weird, isn't it? Why is that weird? Just a man who's 35 years old, just on the street. Just all one colour, just yellow jelly beans. Yellow. So now Dan comes over and he just walks straight over to the table and goes, hey, how come everyone's so awkward? He just says it. And I'm so uncomfortable at this point. I'm like, who wants a jelly bean? Dan's like, have one. It's 27. So I'm in a poly relationship now. I just found out. It's good when you find out, isn't it? Because polyamory is so popular now with young people, particularly young people. And people give young people today more shit than any generation. You know what I mean? It's so, it's not fair. Look, if I were to describe young people today, I would describe them as hypersexual environmentalists. That's the best way to... Is that bad? Because you know everything is sexual and political with young people. Everything. Everything's like... save the koalas. It's you, man. Isn't it? Everything's sexual and political. Everything's like, hey guys, my pussy's wet, but there's a drought in Uganda. Guys, seriously. It's you. That's what you post, man. Isn't it? Hey guys, this is a picture of my erection, sure, but it's exactly the same shape as the missiles Israel launches into Palestine. Wake the fuck up. Raise your fist into my ass for workers' rights. Stop racism. Stop it. Stop racism and sexism. It's bad. I care. People are prejudiced. You know what I'm talking about. Like you guys, like you're young, you know, so you post shit like, hey guys, before I begin this tutorial on deep throating, I'd like to acknowledge your traditional elders. Of this share house. A lot of it's mental illness. It is. A lot of it's mental illness. A lot of it's mental illness. And, you know, we're in an epidemic of narcissism. An epidemic of narcissism. Nobody cares. Narcissism is fucking tearing our society apart. Nobody cares. Like, are you okay day? Do you ever ask a narcissist? Nah, fuck that. Not that one. Yuck. Not that mental illness. We don't even have a fucking day for narcissism. We should be raising awareness. Should be like, wear a little mirror for Narcissist Day. They can't even check themselves into a mental health clinic. What are they going to do? Hey, I'm here to check myself in because I'm fucking the best. Yeah! Woo! Like doing the moonwalk and shit. Yeah, sick. I'm the best. Look at my abs. I'm sick. I'm fucking sick. My dad is like, oh, your generation, you know, you guys are the most mentally ill generation of any ever. I'm like, man, fucking boomers are so mentally ill, but they have fucking no idea or self-awareness. Like, we have too much self-awareness. Our generation and younger, you know, we're like, okay, that's a tinge of anxiety. That's a tinge of anxiety, and that's developing into a depressive episode. Great. Now I'm depressed. Now I've got to go to work and I'm disassociating. Hey guys, disassociating, loving that. This is great. Love the disassociation. Then I get to work and I've got a trauma bond with my boss because he's gaslighting me, so I can't self-soothe. That's affecting my serotonin, so that's horrible for the ADHD. Whereas boomers, you guys are just like, feel something, then anger. That's it. Just like, I think I'm sad. Why can't I find a park? Fuck! That's it. I think I'm alone. Fucking political correctness, crazy, My dad has spent his whole life running from himself. His whole fucking life. What's going on? Get the car, get the dog. We're going to the beach now. Can relax, Dad. We're on holidays. We could be on holidays faster. Dad treats life like a race. It's like a fucking job to get done. Get born, grow up, meet someone, get married, have kids, retire, dead. Good, done. Done, good. Life's done. Good. What's next? Looks like the afterlife needs a mow. Let's mow the afterlife. Let's get that job done. Dad never looks inward. He's just going, you won't get me, life. I'm fucking going too quick to feel. You won't catch me. I wish I was like that, you know, just running through life, leaving a wake of mentally ill children behind me. My dad was a racing car driver. That's what he wanted to be. That's why his nerves are fucking shot, because he tried to do that. My brother, that's how my brother got into motorsport. My brother, Will, is an IndyCar driver over in America. He actually just won the world championship for IndyCar. How crazy is that? Yeah. Sure. Yeah. He drove so fast in a circle. He won. Like, he had the best fucking circle. I didn't watch, but apparently I went to my uncle who watches all of it. He's like, it was a good one. Like, he had the best circle on the day. You follow IndyCar? Yeah. So he had the best circle of the year. And they gave him the badge or whatever, the trophy. And And that's not funny. That's like, man, you're fucking risking your life to get the best circle. Like, I reckon it's fucking impressive. But he's actually the greatest driver in the history of the entire sport, like statistically. You know? Like when you play the PlayStation game, man, he's the dude you select. Yeah, I select him and drive repeatedly into the wall. It's to overcome childhood trauma. But you know, he can die doing his job. You know, I can die as well, but it's an internal. I have died many times on the inside, but he actually dies, and so that makes makes you like Will's very profound. Like he's very philosophical. Like he said something really profound to me when he won the world championship. He said, "You know what, bro? Everything I've dreamed of having since I was a kid, I have right now." And he goes, "You know what? It doesn't make you any happier." He said, "In fact, it can make you sadder because everything we're told in this society will make you happy doesn't. And when you get it and you realise that, it can make you really depressed." And he looked me right in the eyes as he said this, and I'll never forget it. He goes, "You know what success is? Success is being in the moment more often with your friends and family." He said, that's success. And he looked me right in the eyes as he said it. And he just started that Ferrari up. And he flicked me a small diamond because he has a pouch of diamonds now from the championship. I don't know if that's part of it. And he flicked me a diamond and took off because I'm not allowed to sit in that particular car. And he started doing circles, and they were perfect. I was like, fucking, it all makes sense, you know, like.
We went mental. In Australia, we suspended our parliament for 15 days, National Day morning. The ABC sent 29 journalists to London to cover the Queen's death. What the fuck are you doing? What's the latest on the Queen, Richard? She's still dead, Michael. It's important that I'm here. No one else is touching this story. Dude, she done it on a Friday. That weekend, I drove past a McDonald's. They were flying the Macca's flag at half-mast. I'm sure that's what she would have wanted. I was so moved. Saw that, pulled over, sang the national anthem. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba! Every politician lost their goddamn minds. There was a guy at the Queensland Parliament from Bob Katter's Australian Party who gave a speech about the Queen in which he described her as the Michael Jordan of aristocracy. Which I would argue is the Mozart of shit comparisons. Thank you, sir. The funeral was fucking nuts. I read an article about a gay sauna in London called the Pleasure Drome, okay? They announced that on the day of the Queen's funeral, they would be staying open as a gay sauna. But as a sign of respect for Her Majesty, they wouldn't be playing any music and they'd be broadcasting the funeral on every TV screen in the venue. And that is the most British shit I've ever heard in my fucking life. The idea of the Queen's funeral playing in the background as dozens of pasty confirmed bachelors bugger each other in mournful silence, gently sobbing as they go at a corgi style. Just, oh, yes! This one's for you, Lizzie! Hands down, the best reaction to the Queen's death came from an Australian rugby league player. Her name's Caitlin Moran. She's a First Nations woman. She's a Gummaroy and Unai woman. She plays for the Newcastle Knights. On the day that the Queen died, Caitlin Moran posted a photo of the Queen and she tweeted this: "Today's a good fucking day. Uncle Luke announces his tour and this dumb dog dies. Happy fucking Friday." Now, I don't know about you guys, to me, that's Australian of the Year shit, okay? Referring to the recently deceased 96-year-old monarch as this dumb dog. That is fucking Prince Philip level insensitive. And she got punished so severely. She got suspended for a match, they docked 25% of her pay, and she had to go to these compulsory classes to learn about the responsible use of social media, which is fucking outrageous. Sending a rugby league player into an educational environment is one of the cruelest things you can do. They're gonna get eaten alive. Fuck that shit, man. I hated all of it. Fuck the monarchy. I've never been a fan, but over the past couple of years, holy shit, they have royally jumped the royal fucking shark. Fuck him. Fuck this racist, outdated, anti-democratic, corrupt, imperialist institution that just justifies the fucked up, unequal class society in which we live. Fuck the dead Queen. Fuck Prince Andrew. Fuck King Charles III, His Majesty the King of England. Fuck him and his giant fat German sausage fingers. Oh, did he look amazing at the coronation with the sword of destiny and the orb of forgiveness and the fucking slippers of noncery or whatever the fuck he was wearing? Fuck the royal family. And that includes Harry and Meghan too, by the way. Some people are like, oh, do you like the royal family or are you team Harry and Meghan? You're allowed to hate all of them. And I encourage you to do so. Fuck Harry, that balding helicopter war criminal with his frozen little todger. Fuck him! Fuck Meghan Markle and her faux naivety. Oh my God, you guys, I married into the royal family, and guess what? They're weird. If only there had been some signs. Oh, leave us alone. All we ever wanted was our privacy and a Netflix deal. Fuck 'em. Now, I know this is not particularly radical for me to say, okay? Sex Pistols called them a fascist regime in 1977. Hundreds of comedians have told literally thousands and thousands of jokes about how ridiculous and outdated and anti-democratic this institution is. And in the grand scheme of things, yes, there are far more important things to worry about. At the same time, they're still fucking there. Still going in the year 2023, the year of our Lord. The royal family just keeps going, coming back. They're like fucking herpes or Australian Idol. And we can't seem to get rid of them here in Australia. Do you want a republic? Yeah. Yes, the people are rising. The movement is unstoppable. Yeah. 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 Do we get a day off for that or what? That'd be time and a half, eh? I agree with you. I just don't think we can do it. We can't get rid of the monarchy. We couldn't get rid of plastic bags in this country, okay? Truly, Charles and Camilla are the greatest plastic bags of all. Don't think about that joke. It makes no sense. Of course we can't get rid of the monarchy. We can't change anything in Australia. Fuck, we hate changing things in Australia. Can't change anything. Can't get rid of the monarchy. Can't change our fucking constitution. Can't change the date of Australia Day. Can't get rid of the Lord's Prayer. Can't fucking legalise weed. Can't fix the fucking internet. We couldn't get rid of Neighbours, for fuck's sake. Neighbours! Neighbours had a 37-year run. Came on air, we had a big farewell. We said, bye-bye, Neighbours. Thanks for everything. Time for something new now. And then Amazon came along and said, no! More Neighbours! We've got more to learn from Tony and Carl and doctors. Just fuck off and die! Fuck and give me a show and fuck off! All right, that was a bit much. We can't become a republic. What do we do? Have a president? Can you imagine anyone saying, hi everyone, I'm the president of Australia. Get the fuck out of here. No one to respect. The president of Australia would have the same authority level as Donut King. Okay, same vibe. We're not a real country. Anyone? Hello? What are we? We used to be a British prison. Now we're just a US military base. Pretty soon we're going to be China's Bali. Okay? That's the future. Come on. Once we run out of shit to dig up, the whole economy propped up with Chinese schoolies, okay? They're not getting Bali belly, Aussie arse, mate. Fucking Aussie arse. Not getting Bali braids, rat tails and mullets, okay? Rat tails and mullets. Following their red strings back to their noodle shops, whatever the fuck that means. We're not real. I've been to other countries. They don't think we're real, okay? At best, we're a Simpsons episode to the Northern Hemisphere. A few years ago, I was in London. I got into an Uber, and the guy said, hey, mate, where are you from? I said, I'm from Australia. I said, oh, yeah? Where's that? What am I supposed to say? South, mate. It's south from here. I've never had to give directions to Australia before. Steal a loaf of bread and turn left, buddy. You'll find it. I said, oh, it's kind of near New Zealand. And he said, oh, yeah. What the fuck, man? We're a continent, sir. Have some respect. That's the Northern Hemisphere. No one gives a shit. No country in the G7 has ever been like, hang on, everyone. Have we run this by Australia? Have we checked this big important thing with Australia? Like, fuck it, those criminals will be fine. If they're not, what are they going to do? Write us an angry email in 12 hours? Who gives a shit? I think the rest of the world thinks of Australia the same way our society thinks about the elderly, okay? They live far away, their opinion doesn't matter, and if you talk to them, you're going to hear something racist.
I'm a creepy guy, I'm a real creep. I cover up every part of my laptop except the webcam. I'm creepy and sure, why not? I'm also a bit freaky. I get kind of freaky. I like to go to the beach. Don't swim, no, I'm not swimming. Too busy flying my drone. Using it to drop Maltesers into people's snorkels. I'm disgusting. My breath reeks. I floss my teeth with a tapeworm. I'm disgusting. I'm a sicko. They want to give me the electric chair. They're worried I'm going to sniff it. But let's get to the point. We're here to talk about the Bratz dolls. The Bratz. Who came up with that name? They don't look like brats to me. I find them very stylish. I think they're quite sophisticated. They've got all the latest fashion. They've got some amazing accessories. Brats? You call them brats? They're not brats. A brat is a nasty little person. Brats throw tantrums. Brats are very selfish. These chicks care about each other. They're always doing photo shoots together. They look good. They look after each other. Also, brats. Brats. What, a Z instead of an S? You people are okay with that? No, that pisses me off. I'm boycotting the Bratz dolls. I'm not buying any more. And that's not an empty threat. I've got quite an impressive collection. I've got a lot of Bratz dolls. I keep them in the bath. I'm not buying any more until there's a complete rebrand. I firmly believe with all of my heart that they should not be called the Bratz dolls. They should be called the Dynasty of the Elegant Sisters. Am I wrong? What about these dragonflies? Have you ever seen a dragonfly? You may have encountered one at a picnic. That name is too good. How'd they get dragonfly? Pretty cool name for what's essentially just a long fly. Very lucky to have gotten that. Do they get to choose that? Very lucky, very suspicious. Could easily have been called the sausage fly. Bratz dolls and dragonflies. Everything else in the world I'm totally fine with. Those are the two major problems. Oh, and of course number plates. You seen these number plates? They're on the front and back of many vehicles. Why are they called number plates? I'm seeing a few letters. I'm seeing a lot of letters. Sometimes it's an even split. 3 letters, 3 numbers. Sometimes there's 2 numbers, 4 letters. That's a lot of the plates, sweetheart. Don't get me started on letterboxes. They got numbers on them. Dave! Oh yeah, will I ever get it together? Will I ever be the ultimate gentleman? I used to go and get ice cream. Oh. How are you, Alan? I know this guy, he's not a good guy. Who's I used to go and get ice cream. I wasn't making classy choices. I didn't have a mature palate. I'd run in there, I'd say, give me the triple choc chip surprise! Give me the hokey pokey googa! Give me the Rocky Road bubblegum idiot dickhead! Childish flavours. I don't get ice cream anymore. I get gelato. I sidle into the gelatismo, wearing a silk tuxedo. They say, what would you like? I don't ogle the selections. I don't lean against the glass. I lean back as far as I can. And I make my mouth really, really small. And I say, pistachio. Oh, an excellent choice, sir. Would you like it in a cup or a cone? Neither. Give it to me straight. Some of you may find this next story disturbing. It's an expose that will likely lead to the collapse of the judicial system in this country. I was in the city, I walked past the courthouse, I walked past the judge, the robes, everything. A judge. He was on the phone. He says, yep, just about to have lunch. In his other hand, he was... Oh my goodness. He had one of these products. It's 4 crackers, 4 bits of cheese. You know what I'm talking about? Plastic container. 4 crackers, 4 bits of cheese. I'm sorry, but that's what you're having for your lunch? That is not a substantial meal. 4 crackers, Your Honour. 4 bits of very processed cheese? Haven't you been elected to this position because of your ability to make good decisions? I wish I had my own gavel. I'll knock it out of his hand. No, that's not good. That's bad. That's not lunch. That's a snack. That's the kind of snack they give you on a plane. They got big tubs full of that crap. You're not on a plane. You're in the CBD. You've got options. What's wrong with sushi? Get a poke bowl. Poke bowl overruled. No, surely not. I'm watching him. I couldn't look away. He peels off the lid. He takes the first cracker. He puts 2 bits of cheese on it. He doubles up. This guy doubles up. He eats it. He takes the next cracker. Once again, he puts 2 bits of cheese on it. He doubles up again. It is a sickness. He takes the next cracker. By the way, not even the final cracker. This is just cracker 3. He looks in the now empty cheese reservoir. He gets a look on his face like, oh no. I'm going to have to raw dog it on these last 2 crackers. A judge! It's unacceptable. This guy wields a lot of power. He's a goohead. He's developmentally challenged. He's looking at a cracker like it's the Rosetta Stone. You want this guy presiding over a homicide case? I don't think he could be trusted with a snack. We've seen how he goes with simple 4-to-4 distribution. You like his chances rationing dip? Hello? I'm pretty sure he was wearing a wig. The whole thing upset me. I was really, really, really emotional. I went to see my therapist. I lay down, I said, I just don't know what is happening to our society. He said, sorry, what was that? I looked up, he was sucking on a Zooper Dooper. A therapist!
So I was just a bit distracted during that bit. You haven't laughed all night. Is there a problem? You know, if you're not enjoying the show, you can go, If you're feeling a bit tired, it's okay. You can just leave, it's okay. Whatever. I'm just gonna do my. I'll just ignore that. We're all having a great time. We're in the last part of the show. I'm just gonna continue. I'm just gonna do my building mime sketch.
Maybe I should just go.
Who does this idiot think I am? I'm a doll. I can't just get up and leave. Unless... excuse me? Person sitting next to me, are you able to stand up, pick me up, and take me outside, please? It'll only take a minute. I know you can hear me. So, what are you doing? No, sorry, that's a bit weird. Do you mind just popping the doll back? Is that all right? Yeah, thanks. Yeah. Thank you. Just going to go back to my building mime sketch. Oh my God! Why did you put me back down? I've got to get out of here. We were so close. You're doing so well. You can do it. Come on, let's go. Come on. That's right. I need you to stand up. So what's going on? What? Okay, lady. No, I need to put the doll back. Sorry, yeah, that's a bit weird. It's a bit distracting. Yeah. And I need the doll for the bit. Okay, so yeah. We're filming the show, so can you not? I'm just going to go back to my building mime sketch. Are you fucking serious? Don't listen to him. Listen to me. I can't stand to be here. You're doing so well. Come on, I need you to pick me up and leave. That's the bit. The bit is you taking me, the doll, and leaving. Don't listen to him. Sorry, what's going on? She has to go, does she? Doesn't look that way. Hey, come back! Hey, stop! Hey, whoa! Oh, round of applause! Thanks so much. Oh man, thank you. Wow, thank God that bit worked. Last time I did it, no one could see the doll. Some guy at the front thought he was the doll. It was a fucking disaster. I'm a small man. I'm a small man. Oh yeah. I'm a small man. I'm a small man. Thank you. Thanks so much. Thank you. Don't know me, you will never know me. If you don't know me, I'm 37. Never know me. I used to be a lawyer. People would come to me for legal advice. The cat ears are gone, the small man costumes come off. So let's welcome back to the stage, Josh Glanc.
me like my name was El Nino. Well, I'm hanging out, drinking in the back of a Camino. As a kid, I was scared, no one knew me by name. Crashed my own house party, cause nobody came. Well, I know I'm not the one you thought you knew back in high school. Never going, never showing up when we had...
That's me, Josh Glanc, rocking out in the middle of my show. Why? Because I love rocking out. But little did I know that in just a moment, everything was about to change when an audience member suddenly stood up and yelled out, "You suck." That's right, an audience member suddenly stood up and yelled out, "You suck."
You suck!
Oh no, why'd I scream that out? Why'd I tell Josh he sucks? Why do we always hurt the ones we love? I guess I wanted to look cool, but now I look like an idiot. Quick, I better say something to compliment him.
Great shorts.
Oh, that was really nice. So why did they insult me before? Does this audience member like me or not? It's so hard to tell sometimes. On the other hand, it can also be really obvious when someone isn't enjoying it. What the hell's he pointing at me? I'm enjoying it.
Well,
thank you.
I'm not.
Come on,
I
just 'cause
still can't believe I screamed out, "You suck."
No, it's alright, mate, don't worry about it.
I think it's alright.
It's alright, it's a bit weird.
I wonder if he's single. It's a bit
I quite
I
liked
liked
it.
the bird bit.
I definitely like those songs.
It's not my cup
His
of
voice
tea.
is
I wish there
actually
was more
really
about
good.
him. I wish he'd take his top off.
I wish he'd take his
I
top
thought
off.
he'd take his top
When's
off.
he going to take his top off?
I wish he'd take his top
Is he
off.
going to take his top off or not? That's why I came.
Why hasn't he gotten it off
I
yet?
wish everyone would start the chant, take it off out loud.
Wouldn't it be great if everyone chanted, take it off, take it off?
You want me to take it off? Is that what you want me to take it off? Is that what you want? Is that what you want? Right front there. They happy? They happy? They happy now? It's not even fucking real.
So I've gotten more annoying as I've gotten older. When I was younger, I really tried my hardest not to be annoying, and now I don't really care. And the way I know that is now when my friends tell me stories about annoying guys they've encountered, I don't get angry for them or annoyed for them. I just get jealous of the annoying guy. And the best example of this was a mate of mine last year. Her headphones broke, like the cord snapped on one of the sides of her headphones. And she ordered a guy off Airtusker to come around, and he said he could solder the wire back together. So this guy comes around, she pays him $50. He goes into the kitchen where the headphones are with a little soldering gun, and he tries for 10 minutes, can't do it, messes it up even worse, comes back into the living room where she is, without asking, sees she has a guitar, picks it up, sits down on her couch, starts singing "Wish You Were Here" by Pink Floyd. And my friend's telling me this, like, can you believe this annoying guy? And I'm just jealous of the confidence. To advertise a service, take money for the service, fuck up the service, and then sing "Wish You Were Here" while making eye contact with someone who wishes more than anything that you would die. Bit of a numbers update, we're up to 3. Not too bad, oh yeah. The most annoying I've ever been probably happened last year. Last year I lived with my sister in an apartment, and she was moving overseas, so I needed to find a new place. And I went to some inspections, I started making rental applications, and I found that whole process quite annoying. One of the most annoying things about the rental application process was how many references you need to provide. You often need to provide 3 with every application. You need a reference from your landlord, presumably to prove you're a good tenant. One from your employer, presumably to prove that you have money. And one personal reference to prove you're a good friend, in case the landlord needs emotional support during the tenancy. And so that was all a bit annoying, and I made a few applications, and then I got approved for an apartment. I still had 6 weeks before I needed to move out though, and this one was a bit small. I thought maybe I could do better, so I found myself in a unique position where I could mess with a real estate agent. They've screwed me over with the ants and stuff like that before. I'm like, let's have a crack. So I replied to the approval email just saying, could you please send through a reference for the landlord from a previous tenant of theirs? I've proved I'm a good tenant with some references. Let's now see some proof that the landlord is a good person. And the real estate agent responded with this. They said, the owner does not wish to contact the previous tenants, and it is not a requirement. Fair enough. All the best with your property search. I'm like, all the best with the property search, I've been approved for this place. But then, a minute later, I received this, withdrawn. Dear Tom, we've received advice from you indicating your application has been withdrawn. This message is to confirm we've actioned your request. I didn't make any requests, so I think Stephanie, the real estate agent, has logged into the software as me and cancelled my approval. And I remember looking at this being like, oh my God, I thought they'd say no. I didn't think they just immediately cancelled the approval. What if I can't find a new place? I could have really screwed over my life here, but I pushed down my emotions, I composed myself, and I did what you're meant to do in these situations. I posted it on social media. And believe it or not, within 24 hours, there were news stories about this occurrence. The ABC did one, the renter who asked for his landlord's references. Daily Mail got involved. They said Aussie bloke has his rental application shot down. By the way, the first time in my life, and probably the last, that I will ever be referred to as an Aussie bloke. As a bit of a sidebar, a lot of media organisations in Australia and some overseas covered this story. The only one to check with me that any of it was real was the ABC. One of the first things they did was email me saying, oh, can you forward the emails that you had with the real estate agent to prove you didn't just make all this up in Photoshop? And I said, sure, and forwarded it through. Every other media organisation that ran with it was like, a comedian said it on TikTok. That sounds like a fact to me. And just... it was on TV. I'm like, I know for a fact none of these people have checked with me. The Daily Mail journalist, I spent an hour talking to a guy from the Daily Mail, 50 minutes of which was him complaining about his current landlord. In the 10 minutes dedicated to me, he was asking me all these really personal questions, which I think they pad out their articles with specific stuff for like search engine optimization purposes. But he was asking me like what my rent was with my sister, what my rent would have been at the apartment that I applied for and then got knocked back from. He asked me what my address was, all this stuff that I wasn't comfortable sharing, but I also didn't want to get into an argument with him. So I just lied. And he printed all of it. So it's not a controversial statement, but don't trust what you read in the Daily Mail. Lad Bible did a story. The lads. The Lad Bible called me a man. Do you know how affirming that is for someone's masculinity? Could be the highlight of the whole thing, to be honest. The Age did a story, and yes, not the best photo. I'm not sure if they were deliberately searching for the one where I looked most like a pervert, but... if they were, they have nailed that. But this is where the language started to change. This one says, Tom Cashman is looking to start a trend that could revolutionise the rental market. Like, I don't know if that was necessarily my intention. I was just bored on a Tuesday and was trying to annoy one specific real estate agent because I could. But this is when I started getting messages calling me a hero. People were saying, you're a David fighting the Goliath. That is the real estate industry. People were messaging me being like, I stand with you in protest. I'm like... I don't know if I stand in protest, but thank you. But in case you were wondering, here's a graph showing people calling you a hero for something you did as a joke over time. As you can see, for the first 5 days, I was like, oh, this is all a bit much. But on day 6, I was like, I am a hero. I remember where I was too. I was at a pub on day 6 talking to a friend, and I found myself saying, if I can convince more people to ask for landlord references, it could become vaguely expected in the marketplace. And if it becomes expected in the marketplace, it could legitimately reduce the power imbalance that exists between tenants and landlords. And he was like, why are you talking like this? Weren't you joking? And I said, yeah, but I think it came to me because I subconsciously sensed injustice. Those are real words that came out of my mouth. Absolutely disgusting stuff. I don't feel like a hero, though, you know, like I don't have big dick energy. I don't have big dick energy, but I do get bad diarrhea easily, so that's still pretty cool. That's actually the context in which I felt most like a hero years ago. Is in regards to small penis prejudice. And I've got you, brother. But if you don't believe it's a thing, I'd ask you to think back 15 years. You're not all going to remember this, but particularly the Australians, I reckon you will. About 15 years ago, the Australian government were experiencing an issue with speeding on the nation's roads. Yeah. They decided to engage a television campaign to combat this very serious issue. Did they interview experts about speeding? Did they talk to victims? Did they talk about how easy it is to speed without realising you're doing it? No, they didn't take any of those approaches. Instead, the thrust of the campaign was that if you speed, you've got a small dick, fuck you. Do you remember this? It was just a bunch of women with their pinkies out being like, that's your penis. That's your penis, you idiot. You do a criminal act, you get a criminally small penis. We're the government, by the way. That's your dick. That's your stupid dick. I just remember being like 15 years old, watching that on TV at home, being like, that's actually pretty big. I need to get into speeding. Are you kidding? You go fast, you look cool, your dick doubles in size. Do you remember this ad, though? Yeah, thank you. It's a real thing. Is that why we pay taxes? I work hard, I give some of my money to the government for them to make expensive videos about how my penis is ridiculous. I looked this up more recently. This is a real ad that happened years ago. I looked it up, and what I'm about to say is true. You can look it up too. That campaign, that You've Got a Stupid Little Penis campaign, is the most successful road safety campaign in Australia's history. Road deaths plummeted. Speeding rates plummeted, so now when I go home with a girl, I get naked, I say, yes, it may be small, but think how many lives it saved. The point is that my dick is the hero. That's a graphic. That's just the legend there. And the other legend there. And if anyone's worried, this should reassure you. This is a graph of the penis-based material in the show. So it's almost over, and that's when it became too much. Because it looks a bit... Yep, you get it. Good. But it was weird being in the media in this positive light when pretty much the opposite thing happened to me about 6 months before that, right? So this is a true story. About 6 months before the landlord reference thing, I lived with my sister, as I said, and she was busy with work and exams, and I thought as a nice treat for her, I'll get a cleaner to do a good clean of the apartment we lived in, right? So I booked a cleaner online, cleaner comes around, I showed them the apartment, and then I left. I didn't tell them anything about the household rubbish. I didn't think about that. I probably should have. But basically what happened, unbeknownst to me, is the cleaners took the household rubbish, they went into the street in front of the apartment building. They couldn't find the big bins, so they just left the trash on the street, which is bad, right? I want to acknowledge that's bad. That's annoying for the neighbours. Look, that I want to acknowledge that is bad and annoying for the neighbours. In terms of how annoying, on the people eating tuna at work spectrum, I'd put it at about 7 people eating tuna at work. It's still medium on the police sex with dog spectrum. That's not because it's involved in this story, but just based on the meme from earlier, we can only assume it's still going on. So I think that's important to reflect in the data. But so I didn't know about that. I got back and the apartment was clean, paid the cleaners online, went about my week. And about a week later, I received an envelope in the mail addressed to me, and there were 3 pieces of paper in this envelope. The first piece of paper was that photo. The second piece of paper was this photo of another envelope addressed to me. So what's happened is someone's gone through the trash, found an envelope with my name on it and been like, this guy's the culprit. The third piece of paper in the envelope is a letter, typed out letter addressed to me. It's not just any letter, it is the most psychotic letter you will ever see in your life, I guarantee. It starts out pretty polite and nice, but let's just say it takes a little bit of a turn. I'll show you some of it. It starts out saying, the attached photos show 5 messy, unpleasant, smelly, split and leaking bags of household garbage dumped in Barkham Avenue, Darlinghurst. They also show the garbage contains correspondence addressed to you from ComSec and AFX, which means the garbage is most likely yours. If so, what a total cunt you are. A total cunt. A moronic, antisocial, subhuman, irresponsible Neanderthal with no concept of acceptable community behaviour. No doubt you live like a pig too. With social habits to match. P.U. What a stink you must leave wherever you go. My favourite part of this is the if so. Because it's like, if so, you're a subhuman Neanderthal. If not, good on you. I don't know. Sorry about this intense letter. So I remember reading this. I'm like, oh my God, this guy knows my name. He knows where I live. He's very angry. I'm going to die. He's going to kill me tomorrow. But I pushed down my emotions. I composed myself. And I did what you're meant to do in these situations. I posted it on social media. And journalists got in touch about this as well. Believe it or not as many as the landlord reference thing, but still a few. And you can see why. It's pretty good clickbait. It's the most psychotic letter I've ever seen. But I had a decision to make in terms of whether to talk to these journalists, right? Because on the one hand, it doesn't make me look very good, this story. I should have told the cleaners not to put the trash on the street, and it makes me look bad. But on the other hand, I wanted to get back at this guy. This guy clearly lives near me. He didn't sign off on the letter. I don't know who he is. I thought maybe if I go to the press, he'll think twice about doing this to someone else. And as you could predict, it backfired on me. It backfired hard. I spoke to a few journalists. The first headline of the first article that came out about this was the headline: Sydney comedian Tom Cashman sent deranged note. It makes it sound like I sent it. The second one isn't much better. Subhuman man receives. Makes it seem like Yahoo News agrees that I'm the subhuman. Even worse, if you Googled my name at the time, the top result was that I sent a deranged note. So in the space of 6 months, when I was trying to be annoying, I was called a hero. When I was trying to be nice, I was called a stinky pig, subhuman Neanderthal. But it's okay, because that benefits my reputation, and that is funny. So I got kicked out of that first apartment, but I still had 6 weeks to look for a new apartment, so I wasn't too worried, if I'm honest, and I kind of dilly-dallied. And then I started speaking with a friend of mine about potentially moving into a 2-bedroom place, and then we dilly-dallied, and then I left it until I had a week left before I needed to move out from the place with my sister. And then we started frantically going to inspections, me and my friend, on the Monday and Tuesday. On the Monday morning, we went to one that we liked. We immediately made an application, and that afternoon, I got a text from the real estate agent at this new place. He says, "Can you send me a bank statement?" I said, "Sure, I've just emailed you one." He said, "Sending the apps to the owner. Any requests before I send it off?" I said, "Sounds good, thanks. None I can think of." That's when he says, "Are you going to ask me for a landlord reference?" I'm like, great. I'm famous amongst real estate agents for being the most annoying tenant there ever was. Perfect. Then I thought maybe he's just joking around. He was a younger guy. I met him at the inspection. I'm like, maybe he's just joshing. So I'll reply in a jovial way. I'm like, ha ha ha, no, that has not worked out well for me in the past. Of course, if the landlord has one lying around, I wouldn't mind having a peek. I'm just trying to be funny. He goes, ah ha ha, no worries. I thought that was a good sign. He checked I was legitimately interested in the property, which is fair enough. I said I was, and he says, no problem, we should have approval shortly. I'm like, hell yeah, that's a good sign. The next morning, we received this: congratulations. Dear Thomas, and I blocked out my friend's name, but let's just say, we're up to 4. Congratulations, you've been approved for tenancy. I'm like, fantastic, we've got a place. Last minute, I called the real estate agent. He says, congratulations. We arrange a time the next day for me to come and pick up the keys. I'm like, perfect, saga over. But that afternoon, I received this: unsuccessful. Good afternoon, Thomas. Strange turn of events. The owner has decided not to proceed with your application. I've asked for a reason why. They've told me we would like to continue our search. I've done my best to convince them, but their decision is final. I'm very sorry for this outcome. I'm looking at this. I've got 3 days now before I need to move out of my old place. I'm like, it was funny before. It's not funny now. I'm going to have to move in with my dad or something. I've completely screwed over my life here, but I pushed down my emotions. I composed myself. And I did what you're meant to do in these situations. I posted it on social media. And there are articles about this too. News.com got involved. Daily Mail did one saying there was a bizarre twist in the landlord reference saga. And as I was looking for a new apartment, I was doing multiple interviews with different journalists, and I pretty much said the same thing to all of them. I said, it's clear what's happened here. The landlord at this new place has done a last-minute Google of my name, and they've seen that I'm a David who fights the Goliath. That is the real estate agency, and they don't like that I'm a rental rights advocate, and they don't want me under their roof. And it's only occurred, I'm on record saying that to multiple journalists. It only occurred to me months after that if you Googled my name at the time, still one of the top results was that I sent a deranged note over a rubbish dispute. Like, I thought the landlord was looking at this being like, this guy is my political adversary. When it's quite likely they were looking at this and thinking, this guy is a stinky, stinky pig. This guy's an extremely stinky pig.
My psychiatrist said that anxiety can lead to depression. I wish it would hurry up. Anxiety's way worse. It's like a sushi train, just different dishes every day. Sashimi betrayal, teriyaki brain cancer. Me so scared. And you're just up 3 a.m, texting all your friends, we cool, just... Depression's way better. You're in your pyjamas, drinking custard out of the box in a Xanax haze. It's relaxing. No wonder people slit their wrists in a bubble bath. They're just like, let's send this to the next level, brother. Let's fucking send it. If it's so bad, why'd the Japanese name a forest after it? Usually my carer's tasing me by now. She's doing karaoke, the bitch. But that's her choice. She was asking if I wanted to go to an escape room. I'm like, no, I can just eat buffalo wings without a napkin and try and turn a doorknob. I was one of those leash kids, remember that? It doesn't affect you, hey? It doesn't affect... 61. Have you noticed the more genetic problems a dog has, the fancier it is? Like, if it's got breathing problems, the owner went to a private school. I think because it's in bad taste to have a Ferrari now, you just got to be like, yeah, I can afford to keep a Pomeranian bulldog on dialysis, I'm killing it. I got a litter of asthmatic pugs at home, yeah. I got a Labradoodle on enough Prozac to save Anthony Bourdain. Do you think when aliens come and take over, they'll do the same? They'll be like, fuck Chris Hemsworth, I want the guy with the sleep apnea mask. See that guy on the mobility scooter with all the flags of the UN on it? That's mine, Trevor. He's a rescue. I don't even need to pick up his shit because he's got a colostomy bag, so it's a 2-for-1 meal deal. But I'm not doing well, folks, I'll tell you that much. I just got banned from Airbnb for renovating and I tried to use Afterpay at a brothel and like it just doesn't... Man, do you ever go to a cafe? You know they have that baked goods display? There'll always just be one fly. I always go to the barista, I'm like, why are there Danishes in the fly enclosure? You know, to build a rapport. I've never talked to anyone, but I don't even have the self-esteem to have a dietary requirement. I see someone say they're gluten-free, I'm like, he believes in himself. This guy, more boundaries than a surveyor. I'm not an assertive person. I could be really thirsty. I'll be at a friend's place. I won't ask directly for a glass of water. I'll just be like, do you ever swivel that tap? What? I hate confident people. All my friends have anxiety disorders, which is great, because if you do a no-show, they think it's their fault. They blame themselves. They're like, maybe I shouldn't have even been born. But we hate that fly. Remember the fly? Because it's just hovering over the cupcake, making it all disgusting. It does nothing. It's unemployed. Love the bee, though. Yeah? Because it's out there, pollinating jacarandas. Fly in, fly out. FIFO. It's a fly in high-vis. Now, if flies started cleaning up dog shit as opposed to hovering over it, we'd start respecting them and it'd be illegal to spray them. The only difference between animal cruelty and pest control is the work ethic of the insect. And you know the insect known as the wasp? I'm not talking about white Anglo-Saxon Protestant. I'll be explaining the subtext as we go along. I'm talking about the insect. It's got all the unemployment of the fly and all the violence of the bee, just in the worst corporate merger of all time. It's just... A wasp is like that construction worker that's been sacked, but they're still hanging around. Just, yeah, I used to work for Rio Tinto. But you think of all these creatures. You think of the bee. They've got a hive. That's nice. Bit of community. Even the wasp, as debauched a creature as it is, still has a nest. More of a share house turned into a meth lab vibe, but nonetheless, a community. Then you look at the fly, no headquarters. Freelancing, they're sole traders. Air tasker, doing tasks in the air. There's a piece of dog shit on Kent Street, get to it boys. They're all just knocking each other out of the way, there's no camaraderie. And if they die in transit, no one investigates. Like a Deliveroo. But yeah, so that's... it's weird. Like, this is how I like to relax. I like to just go to like a 5-star hotel and just loiter in the lobby. Yeah, I don't know if you've done that, but you're allowed to do that. Everyone here is allowed to go to a 5-star hotel and just loiter in the lobby. And I went there and it's just, you know, there's complimentary pastries. There's a beautiful chandelier. But no one's touching them because it's just CEOs and hedge fund managers going, oh, I'll circle back to you, CC in the invoice. That's the tragedy. The rich are too busy to enjoy the wealth they're created. But you give a bogan a voucher to a buffet. They'll be like, they're not allowed to stop us, brother. Every rich person should be assigned a bogan on a leash just to enjoy the wealth they're too busy creating. Like a truffle pig for pleasure. Take him to the conference. This is Gary, my +1. He'll just be hoovering up the hors d'oeuvres. Going, how good are these oysters? Apparently they make your dick hard. Don't have to write a gratitude diary anymore. They can just watch Gary slurp scallops out of a trough and squeal in ecstasy. Do you ever write a gratitude diary because your dopamine receptors are so fucked you have to gaslight yourself into enjoying your shit life? Went to Grilled with Philip, it was fun to build a rapport. Just end it, it's over. Turn it into a suicide note, it's more honest, commit. Isn't it funny, if you gaslight someone else, it's abuse. Gaslight yourself, it's a gratitude diary. Like, imagine reading your gratitude diary out to someone else as if it was them. You're like, yeah, you enjoyed going to Nando's, didn't you? Admit it, I saw you licking the peri-peri off your lips, you dog. What do you do for a living?
Tour guide.
Prawns and pistachio nuts have the same labour to enjoyment ratio. Milk and gender have both had an explosion in new flavours recently. No, I worked in an office for a day and for an hour, and everyone in finance wears a Patagonia jacket because they're fantasising about climbing their screensaver. And it's not for you're just in a swivel chair developing scoliosis, just moving currencies around that aren't even real. You never know when you've done enough with an office job, you know? You go to a bar afterwards, you're just by yourself drinking a beer, just watching Schindler's List on an Apple Watch. It's low-key. You know, because they're getting emails like, oh, it's Tokyo time, waking up in flop sweats. Circadian rhythms are all mucked up. But you see construction workers, they're doing 120 in a school zone. Dudes in high-vis just revving their engines at the lights because they've clocked off. They're celebrating. It takes the endorphin rush of manual labour to get the confidence to yell gay cunt out of a youth. That's stress relief for them. That's their adult colouring in book. You can't intimidate someone in an electric hybrid that powers down at the lights to save the environment. You just go, it doesn't match. It's like a sommelier pairing a Shiraz with a Krispy Kreme. That was an analogy for no one, apparently. These laughs are as scattered as my granddad's ashes. I just watched him get cremated on Zoom, but I was playing Tetris during the eulogy. It was disrespectful, okay? I admit it. Once again, they're scattered. What is this, a Groupon thing? I've never seen so many different demographics not united by a thing. There's a fucking tour guide next to a skinhead. Like, this is such a Groupon algorithm. It's like, do you want cheap tickets? That's what happens. It's bring them together, boy. Fucking nasty-ass crowd. Yeah, you know, have you guys heard of the cold plunges? Yeah, they're good for you, eh? Cold plunges, that's right. Yeah, they get the blood flowing if you do an ice bath. It's good for your heart rate. Yeah, get in an ice bath. It's going to just get your immune system going, blood through your system. But do you guys remember the Titanic? Yeah, I know it was a movie, but it happened as well, so it's a 2-for-1 meal deal. But remember that bit where it hit the iceberg? Allegedly? and they were all in the water. For a brief period, they were actually getting healthier. They died in peak condition. When Leonardo DiCaprio turned blue, he was in the best shape of his life. Imagine if he'd had an Apple Watch, it wouldn't have known what was going on. It would have been like, your skin's glistening, Leo, from the collagen production, you're doing very well. Oh, there's been a steep drop-off, mate, what happened here? But imagine if they yanked you out of the the Titanic, because it was real, but imagine if they yanked you out just at the right time. Yeah, so you got all the benefits of the cold plunge, you'd end up living longer than you would have if you'd never been involved. That doesn't happen with other tragedies. My uncle survived 9/11 and got his 10,000 steps. The lifts were busy, I don't know if you heard, they were on fire.
I don't really know what men do, ever. Like, really, I was asking the crowd a few weeks ago at a show, like, what they did as a job. I was like, what are you, mate? And this guy was like, oh, I'm a scaffy. I thought that was a breed of dog. Turns out he's a scaffolder and I'm just a moron. Like, what I lack in masculinity, I make up for in my knowledge of scented candles, you know? That's my vibe. Like, I'm just not a man. Like, I drive auto, you know? That wasn't a joke. But you guys laughed. I said that statement in North Queensland on my tour last year, and one dude just stands up at the back and just goes, oh, you fucking pussy. And it's good to know that toxic masculinity is alive and well still in North Queensland. And I am a proud auto driver. Give us a cheer if you drive auto. Let's go. Give us a cheer if you drive manual. See, there's always less, but there's always so much louder. Just manual drivers, you are the vegans of the car world. You really are. I get bullied by men, to be honest. I read. Oh wait, no, that's the next bit. Can I? I moved too far ahead. I'll do the bullying bit first, and then I'll tell you about my reading. Now I'm just giving you the contents for the show. You're like, oh, a lot to look forward to. This is great. I get bullied by men. This is like true story. 5 years ago, I was walking to university. Okay, it was TAFE, whatever. I was like, no one's gonna believe that shit. And I had headphones on, and I was wearing a backpack, minding my own business. And you know when you hold your backpack strap like here, and then you lower it a bit, it's like a comfortable walking position. Then you lower it here, but it rides up at the back. I look like a fucking Pokemon trainer. I was wearing my backpack as a hat. And I don't know if you know this, but that's more than enough ammo for a tradie to rip you to shreds. They don't need much. And I'm minding my own business, and a white Toyota Hilux just slows right down. The windows start rolling down, and I was like, oh no. Now, I'm not a tradie. What a shock. But I am fairly confident that there must be some kind of preamble that happens in the Hilux before the windows get rolled down. Like, they must be just like, oi. And he's like, yeah. And he puts down his dare. It's my favourite part of the show. Because every night there's always one girlfriend that pokes their boyfriend like, that's you. Chocolate milk is not a substantial breakfast. And they're just like, oi, 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 backpack kid. And the other one's like, this is better than when we drive past the local high school. This is sick, right? Do you remember chatterboxes from primary school? Those little paper origami things, and there's options, and you go on a journey. I reckon tradies have those in the glove box of their car with just 8 fucked insults they could yell at a stranger. And they're just like, oi, pick a colour. He's like, blue. Okay. B, L. Fuck, pick another colour. He's like, just go, man, just go. And this guy just leans his whole torso out the car and he's like, oi! And I was like, yeah! And I watched this dude's brain just melt as he tried to come up with an insult. I'm looking at him, he's looking at me, and I was like, someone's lost their chatterbox. And he clocks the backpack and I quickly drop it, but it was too late. He'd seen it and the insult started concocting. I could see it being mixed in there. The brain cell was pinging back and forth. And then he just goes, "Nice backpack, fuckhead." I was like, damn, that was pretty good, actually. And then he followed up with a question, and this really threw me off. He's like, "Why are you wearing that?" And I went, "Huh? That's my first mistake." Because you're probably thinking, Luke, you don't owe this man an answer. Just walk away. I'm a people pleaser, okay? And a couple of things you need to know. Firstly, I just started doing comedy at the time. I really pride myself, particularly then, on being quick-witted enough to come back with a clever retort in a high-pressure scenario like this. The second thing is, I panicked. This is one of my biggest regrets, and I want you to know that before I say it. I'm aware of it. I was like, he's like, "Why are you wearing that?" And I came out way too hard. I was like, "Why?" And he goes, "Yeah, why?" And I was like, "Because I wanted to pack my lunch." I froze, and he's like, "What?" And I was like, "Fuck!" I think about that every morning. But I'm a modern man, right? As I may have mentioned earlier, accidentally. I read. Does anyone read? Any readers in? Oh, hell yeah. Oh, what do you read, mate?
I like to read my novels and Harry Potter.
Your novels and Harry Potter. I've got news for you, mate. Harry Potter is one of your novels. Wait, do you write your own novels?
No, yeah, I try to write.
Oh, you write your own. Sorry, I was being a smartass. You're way more intelligent than me. Except for that first part where you said you were a drug dealer. That wasn't the smartest, but... Pardon? No, I believe you. I know you were fucking joking, man. There's no drug dealer that would ever be like, "Yeah, that's me." Yeah, great. Yeah, anyone else read?
We read fantasy. We're actually in a book club together.
You're in a book club. Let's go. Ultimate readers. Oh, that's great. What was the last book you read?
It was a really messed up short story book, actually.
Messed up short story, like murder.
Mostly talk about, anal.
Anal? Yeah, great. Fun club. Are you sure you didn't just go to an orgy and read? That sounds intense. I'm more of a Captain Underpants man, to be honest. But game respects game. I like that's good. I was reading a lot during lockdown, and everything was about the pandemic. I think we all got sick of it. And by the way, I read a lot of highbrow intellectual stuff, as you might already be able to tell. I'm quite a sophisticated boy. It was BuzzFeed, whatever. Still an article. Okay, it was a quiz. I'm a Hufflepuff, you don't know my story. But there was this one article that stood out to me. The headline just read, "Kim Jong-un, the supreme leader of North Korea, bans skinny jeans in North Korea." I clicked on the article and the first thing that came up was a picture of Kim Jong-un. I don't know if you've seen a picture of Kimmy boy lately. Fuck me, big unit. Barrel boy confirmed. Let's get that out of the way. This man is not a dictator, he's a mictator, all right? He's a big boy, and I'm looking at Kim, big boy, and I'm reading the article, ban skinny jeans, and I'm looking at Kim, ban skinny jeans, big, burly, beefy boy, ban skinny jeans. And I was like, that's the most insecure shit I've ever seen in my entire life. Full-grown adult man who has all the power he wants in that country. He woke up one morning, saw someone wearing skinny jeans and was like, if I can't have them, no one can. That's embarrassing. Imagine if I had that much power. I thought about this and I woke up one morning and I just banned big dicks, you know? I was like, if I can't have them, no one can. Hell yeah, a few other white dudes in, small to medium with a respectable girth, all right? A few girls laughing, a lot of dudes real quiet. Like, I came here to laugh, not to be personally attacked. Now, he's a big boy, and I did get a message, by the way, after one of the shows from a girl. She was like, "Hey, Luke, I really enjoyed the show. I just want you to know that fat shaming is never okay." And I was like, that's not true. Fat shaming is often not okay. But there is a limited amount of topics that you can talk about these days as a comedian, and I'm fairly sure girthy dictators is still on the cards. If we can't make fat jokes about blokes that kill their own people, what are we all doing? That's a bit of fun. Dude, get on board. Although Kim couldn't get on the board, he'd fucking break it, wouldn't he? The only person he doesn't starve in that country is himself, so... No, there's a list online of all his own staff and ministers that Kim has had executed since he came into power in 2011 with reasons why next to the names. One of the reasons next to one of the names was bad posture and fell asleep during meeting. And I called him pudgy. And sometimes people leave the show going, "Whoa, Luke, do not hurt his feelings." Fuck him, he's an arsehole. He's a big chubby wubby flubbing on, alright? He looks like a fucking dumpling, dude. You are what you eat, that's why he's a fucking dog. No, sorry. Now, that's not a generalisation. There was a massive meat shortage in North Korea, and this is real. Kim Jong-un forced the poor citizens of North Korea to surrender their pets to restaurants to be used as food. Yeah, and I called him a boomba. They ran out of shepherd's pie and they were like, "Here's some German shepherd's pie with a side of border cauliflower. Nom, 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 nom." Oh, you're not going to like the next one. You go to North Korean Bunnings on a Saturday morning, sausage, dog and bread, mate. All right.
If you are a parent of young children, chances are you have already done or said the thing that will be the direct cause of your child's worst adult moment. And the best part is they won't even realise it's your fault. But you'll know. You'll be sitting there at the back of the courtroom, just shamefully watching the cross-examination. So tell us, again, in your own words, Zane, you took a shit in a mailbox and then punched a police horse? And your mum's at the back of the courtroom going, "Oh my God, it's because of that time I put curdled milk into his Fruit Loops and still made him eat them." It all makes sense now. Difficult being a parent. Don't envy that job. Do not envy it at all, you know? I mean, I grew up in a very loving home. Very loving parents. Never wanted for anything. Happy Pants, hypercoloured T-shirts, Ninja Turtles, Michael Bolton, etc. And yet it's very easy to blame your parents for your own dysfunction. Particularly if they're boomers. Oh my God! What's to be done with the boomers? Too many opinions, not enough computer literacy. They're all getting radicalised by Facebook. No more screen time for the boomers. Internet's a scary place for the best of us. They're all running around in their sensible polo shirts trying to figure it out. Get them out of there! I mean, I find it challenging. I'm sure we all do, you know? You wake up first thing in the morning and someone's like, "Oh, hey, what's your fully formed opinion on this incredibly complex social issue that you just learned about 5 minutes ago? Quick, type it into your phone so the rest of us can tell you to fuck off and die." The confidence of people on the internet is truly astonishing. Imagine the self-belief it takes to tell someone you've never met before that you hope they get fucked by a chainsaw. I mean, what a consequence-free life you must have led up until that point. The kid that jumped off the roof onto the trampoline and didn't break their arm. "Oh my God, you're invincible. I bet one day you could be the Attorney General." I'm at a point where... Oh, get fucked, Sydney. I'm outraged at that asset. Why would she lie? Get fucked. We have to never forget that knowledge travels faster than the speed of self-righteousness. Like, your opinions are kind of worthless if they're unbendable over time, you know? You've got to be willing to change your opinions, learn new information, adapt, fucking keep step with the knowledge. You have to be more like the algorithms that absorb all of your online activity to the point where you just have to think about buying a yoga mat and one smashes through your kitchen window. And if you're unhappy, you know, just fucking change. If you have the means to change. If you don't have the means to change, that's a terrible situation. I feel awful for you, but you probably do. I mean, if you're here, you know, can afford to come and see this shit, you could probably change. Might be the hardest thing you've ever done. Might take ages. But please, for the love of God, if you're unhappy, fucking change. Because quite frankly, you being miserable is ruining it for the rest of us. Yelling at me in traffic because you married an arsehole, just end your marriage. You're killing the fucking vibe out here. Jeez, I can't wait till we retire so we can hate each other in a camper van instead. I've always wanted to yell at you in a camper van. Travelling only broadens your horizons if you're open to having your horizons broadened. Otherwise, you're just the same dickhead in a different deck chair.